absolutely never do is I'm going live on my Facebook page because of Facebook's new rules with groups. And so I want to make sure I can stream to another group. Now that I am live, I'm going to go to share it over to Joe's group. So let's
Yeah,
share and in a group. So hello everyone. How you doing, Joe?
I'm well. Enjoying a gray, wet day here, and the dog is actually starting to pace around me. I hope he doesn't start whining.
We actually had we have quite a bit of sun a little south of us. I went in to get my hair cut. Um, and so just wanted to, you know, and then we had some sun and going in, and I have a discovery that there are three more marijuana stores in my greater
Oh,
area. So
I just realized I just temporarily forgot that you're not in Florida, that you're actually in Maine.
I am
So,
in Maine. Yes, I am in Maine. So, so since the beginning of the month, we are both in different locations. So,
yes.
that's kind of interesting and this is where both of us will be at least probably through June. So,
Yeah, I will now. I know that. Oh,
uh,
there's a spider on my hand. I was like, what's on my hand? And it's this little tiny spider.
you know, there
Mm.
is nothing random that's happening today. I was on a podcast and she talked about spiders and then did the itsy bitsy spider. So, things are
I just
crossing.
put it,
You just put it what?
I just put it on the windowsill behind me, and I'm hoping the cat doesn't see it. She's sitting
Oh,
here too. So
and
run away, spider.
oh,
Spider in some traditions is about weaving. What are we weaving? What are we weaving?
we are
Hmm.
definitely astrologically weaving. We are going to be, especially in this part of the month, moving into experiencing ourselves, our language, and it's weaving the tale of how we use our words, how we experience things, um, and all the little pieces of I have the ability to completely, in the moment, change that reality and really um, interact in my head. We sat with ourselves all this time to what is it I really want to be? What is the reality what is there is divine timing, and part of the divine timing is me in how I talk about things, how I experience them, how I step forward in them. So uh
Yeah.
we didn't talk about who goes first. You want me to go first or you go first?
I think you're going.
Okay, I think I'm going. I
So
think I'm
we're
going too.
doing mid-month. So we're at the halfway point of May. We covered 15 days ago. We covered the first 2 weeks, but we really did an overview of the entire month. But now let's see, because energies change. Let's see where we are moving forward from the 15th onward.
Well, it definitely has changed. I've got people jumping on my page, which because I don't usually broadcast from my page, but thank you, Facebook, for limiting what we can do.
Mhm.
So, uh, and so if you are new to this is something Joe and I do twice a month. Uh, Intuitive insights with astrological aspects, how the stars and these stories are repeating and in cycles over and over and over. So really, starting with today, we had our Mars move into Taurus. And so, I'm sorry, our Mercury move into Taurus. And this is really about how we communicate our stabilization, what we value, how we're stepping forward in all of that energy. And we'll eventually have Venus moving into Gemini. And we get ready for a really big full moon. And one of the ways that we're getting really ready for this is this kind of lighthearted energy that starts in today, especially by the end of the 16th. And it is our Jupiter is sitting at 24 degree or 29 degrees, which is the karmic reset. And Jupiter's been in Taurus for a little over a year. wanting us to understand how to stabilize. What do we really value? Really moving at and forcing us to move only at the pace we can move, which is why we've been dealing with tired and many things, because every time we try to push around it, the body steps back in to say, breathe, let this energy, this strong energy of April that took over. And then, we had this lovely common turn with the Aurora Borealis. So, and that was excitement. It created a huge energetic excitement, curiosity, energy. That's some of what we're tapping into right now. Such a common turn. It's just like fireworks. Ah, ooh, you know, that kind of, and so, one after the other, eclipses up, we have the conjunction, then we have the Aurora Borealis. This is the energy that's coming in. And at 29 degrees, we are resetting the karma about what our values, what expands us, what we find balance and beauty in. And right from the 19th through the 28th, there's a sextile with our planet of spirit. And so, and that's going to cross right into the Gemini time zone. And it's a real magical, I mean, the word magic is what's coming forth. It is magical with aspects of opportunity and synchronicities. These things that seem random are not random. You will hear, we were just talking about one where somebody mentioned something, here you are mentioning it. These are opening pathways for us to experience ourselves in this Jupiter moving into Gemini, how we talk, how we communicate with ourselves, the reality we create, the words that we use, how we're going to experience all of this new energy that is now shown up. And there's a tailwind that's pushing us forward. So you don't have to do much to move forward, except not go back to other versions to look at the fears. This is the energy of, I take a shirt out of my closet. I just don't need it anymore. It doesn't resonate. It's nothing more complicated. It no longer serves me. I'm going to move on from it. That's the energy we're in right now, and understanding that fears limit that. And so it's really pretty interesting what's happening. So the 19th to 28th, we have this great crossing. On the 20th, we move into Gemini, which is about experience, and it's how we communicate. So I just heard, for God's sakes, be kind, magnify the kindness, magnify the politeness, magnify, I don't need to snap at you. Let me just be gentle. And in the 23rd, we have this full moon in Sagittarius, which is truth, which is about this truth. And it's not, it seems like it's a random letting go, but it's really about what has served its time. What's our moral compass here? And we have something called an out of sign conjunction with the Sun and Neptune, which really is this turn into Gemini is about our socialness, being social, being in the group, working in the group. How do I hold my space? Social focus with determination. And this out of sign conjunction is very positive. It's very much about growing loyalty, finding the people, putting it out there and experiencing it, letting go of those things that have not really been truths for us, and understanding we are living a different lifestyle than we once did. We're just different. And, the image of running back to an old version to get information, and it's going, I don't know, like it's the amazing amount of positive magic energy that I can, I can just do this different. I can just do this different. I can just stop this feeling. I've really processed this trauma. I've really done that. So I heard a person say today, it's about then being very clear. I am done with this. We're not going back here anymore. What you've taught me, I've learned from, here's my boundary about it. And again, it's that, how am I going to experience these things as I move forward, as I take a look at this? And then, on the 25th is when that Jupiter moves into Gemini, and it's going to be a full year of social growth, action, collective action. And wherever Gemini is in your chart, it's going to expand. It's Jupiter. And by the end of the month, the focus is about the vision and the transformation that has come through this April by sitting with it. And now, as I, in the moment, in every intention in the moment, I'm going to experience myself how I wish to, which will certainly put boundaries around some old uh, energies that we used to do. And right at the end of the month, there's some shockingly surprising things that are revealed. Very much still a lot of Taurus and the body and very physical things coming forward. So busy, busy.
Busy, busy. Yeah, I really think that the Aurora Borealis was all the light show, the spectacular light show, which I didn't get to see, but the pictures from many places that I saw were just extraordinary. So,
Well,
yeah.
and just within the last 24 hours, we've had the largest solar flare we've seen in, I want to say it's
I
almost 10 years.
saw him post that, and I thought, oh, okay. Yikes, good. Well, this just, goes really well with what I'm hearing loud and clear is about shining. So, and these were things, this was something specifically that I talked about at the beginning of the month, with three major aspects, intuitive hits that I got for the month, which was be gentle, speak out, and to shine. And the shine thing seems to be standing out right now because we are, I believe, really being called to look for opportunities to shine, to excel, to stand out, to not be stepping back and hiding, but to really own who we are, step into our brilliance more, be the grandest version of ourselves. And don't apologize for it. Do
Yeah.
not apologize for who you are. Just get out there and be who you are. This is something that I am really stepping into now more. Having not having a 40-hour plus week uh, job right now. So I really feel this call to be doing more of this and other things that really use my innate gifts and talents. So, um, and that goes hand in hand with the newest message for this month moving forward through the summer is to act. Act now. Just get moving somehow. Take a step. Do it afraid if you have to, but do it. And all of the energies that you were just talking about, these energies, all of our guides, they're all supporting us to take these steps now, to step out of the shadow if you've been hiding, to be bigger than you are, to speak out more, to act more boldly, whatever it is, own it, step up, take
Mhm.
an action. Yeah.
Take it, take an action and know that any kind of action moves you forward,
Yeah.
including actively pausing to take care of yourself, not being in your way, pausing, which we've been doing a lot of sitting with ourselves, but some action that moves you forward. Believe what you're experiencing and being told to do. So that makes nothing is random right now. What a fun time this is. There's absolutely nothing random.
No. Pretty incredible.
Right. And it's this whole new pathways are opening. So in June, it has a sailing component to it. Like cue Christopher across sailing, takes me away. There is
Sweet.
just that kind of energy. The wind is pushing us forward. Let it take you and decide how you want to experience it.
Yeah,
Coming
until
back with
we really have to know, there's no pretending, there's no acting. It's just you got to own who you are now.
that.
This is big. I mentioned I did a live video last night, and I mentioned someone that I've been following his little TikTok videos on Facebook, and he's turning 60, and he's turned a new page. He's writing a book, and you know, he's just going for it. And I think this is where so many people are. There's no more like, oh, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna wait. It's like, for so many people now, it's like, no, there's no more waiting. There's no
No,
more waiting.
no, there's,
You're getting the divine shove.
and it doesn't mean that you're supposed to go out and do grand things. It's just moving ahead with yourself
Yes.
authentically every single day. What is it? You gave us a challenge last night. Every morning, what is it I'm going to do that moves me forward today? That I walk in love, that I'm doing, and it's about the intention, and that's what this Gemini energy is. The intention for how I'm going to experience this, as opposed to
Yeah.
it's coming to me. This is a very co-creating energy. I'm co-creating this forward movement. What is it I want it to look like? So,
You have to remember that, we have a lot of human allies that sometimes we forget to tap into. I'm so guilty of this sometimes. And I was really feeling into this space of, oh, growing up, I was so used to doing things on my own, just going out and doing it on my own, that it kind of has, over the years affected my ability to just ask for help, you know? So I have to pay really close attention. And a lot of that is also that internal intuitive hits that we get, like, okay, reach out to this person now, do this now. Those impulses, my part of my meditation yesterday and this morning was follow every impulse.
mhm.
I'm meeting someone, I hope, on Sunday in Woodstock, who for a year followed an impulse every day. And she, has fantastic stories about this. And again, like you were saying, it's not some grand thing, but it's things that, we feel this inspiration coming from ourselves, and it can come in the form of just, you turn on Spotify and a song comes up that you're like, oh, or I saw something on YouTube in between stuff today, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly from my meditation today. Okay, that's validation for me. So look for the synchronicities, like you were saying, because they're calling us often to take the action, you
Yeah.
know, and it may seem like that one action doesn't always necessarily seem to be part of the thing, the bigger thing, but it very likely is, right? Because we don't know if you going from point A to point B instead of just going point A and a half, um, who you're going to run into and what the circumstances and what events are going to be at point B that will help you to get to point C, D, all the way to Z.
And
So
they are,
this stuff.
you taught me this. As much as you are seeking, they are seeking you. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Pay attention. So they are talking to you, and uh, it's perfectly very authentic. Well, I don't know what that means, but I'll just pay attention to it. You'll let me know. It's a whole different co-creation way of how we are experiencing and therefore communicating it. Be
Yeah.
very aware of that communication.
So it's our human allies, and sometimes strangers are our greatest allies, and also the invisible realm. We source from there all the time. We're constantly being guided, and there's we have all that divine collaboration going on, and it's no time to ignore it. It's time to step up, folks.
Yeah.
And I say that to myself because I know that part of my calling right now is to step up, step out, be uncomfortable, and do it.
And and when something happens, like your car, you accept
Yes.
it. How you reacted to that situation brought you a lot of insights. Had you just stomped your feet and had to, all right, well, it's not going to be working right now. So there's other things
Well,
I need to do.
I did have a moment where I did have a little tantrum. I really got frustrated for a moment, and then I went, okay, well, there's a workaround. Like, I'm not totally stranded here without a car. you know, something will happen. And suddenly, you know, it's a week later when my appointment was to get the car fixed, and here I am.
Well,
So, and let
and
me,
that's that whole
it really did.
that's really the whole point. How I react to it is what's going to drive the energy that becomes around it.
Yeah.
You know, how many recent one of the things that happened to me this week was in the midst of going, oh, I'm supposed to be doing this, and then all of a sudden I'm like, you know what, I can just do this differently. I don't want to do any of that right now, so I'm going to take a half hour and I'm not going to think about this. That was huge for me. In this moment, I can just do this differently. I don't need this
Yeah, and
anymore.
all the energies from the planets, all this stuff is really pushing us. It's impulsing us, and some of it, we're going off on a tangent here, but this is worth it. To some of these energies are causing discomfort because it's pushing our thinking, you know, the thoughts that are somehow buried in us, you
Hmm.
know, the our habitual thinking that is not serving us anymore. I mean, if we just look at events around the world, the thoughts that have led to conflicts around the world, they're not serving us anymore. They're serving something, but they're not serving the cause for peace and joy and collaboration, kindness, gentleness, compassion, right? So we've got to pay attention to all that that goes on in our head, because all
Right.
of these events in the world are collective.
We set the intention for those things. That's the difference. I'm going to experience compassion versus safety. I'm going to experience in this moment. And what Spirit had shown me was, you know what an insulator cap is? Like on the top of a pole that holds in energy. They showed them to me. They've been very green. So we've made them look like they're loving and it's helping protect us. And what we're doing right now is just taking the caps off and letting the energy out.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's overwhelming us. It's like that's what this randomness is. Oh, I'm going to take this, what I've insulated, feel it, and then react with it differently. It's different than I have had to
Mhm.
remember it and store it and isolate it. This is about we're letting go of that separateness. That's why we sat with ourselves through that Aries Taurus energy. Where have I myself in separateness? So
Yeah.
very much so. So very cool. So we'll be back
We'll be
in,
back June 1st in 2 weeks.
oh, is it
Uh,
possible it's June? And yet I would say this year has been 6 years long. So
Yeah, you know, we are just about a month away from summer in the northern hemisphere, which means winter down below. And I am shocked that we're coming upon that. So,
I am too. So all right. Well, thank you everyone.
right, thanks, folks.
And
See you again.
we will see you again later. Namaste.
Mm-hmm. Ciao
Blessings.
for now.